Hey, what's up friends? I'm Darkoburi the Collector. Welcome to the last video of the year with this Mega Power Rangers piece. And now, as promised, a promise is a promise. I've been getting a lot of private messages asking me to do a Power Rangers unboxing, but I didn't want to do just any unboxing. I wanted to do one where you'd honestly say, man, Darkoburi really nailed it. And by the way, thanks so much to everyone who sometimes calls me Dark God. Honestly, the real stars are the pieces themselves, the creators, and these are truly outstanding pieces. Right now, we're going to check out this piece, which is officially licensed by Hasbro from the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. We're going back to the very first Power Rangers we ever saw, and this set includes all the Rangers. Here we've got the first ones, the originals, and then it also includes Tommy, who was the Green Ranger. If you remember, later in the movie he becomes the White Ranger, and then in another season he turns into the Red Ranger. They even try to bring him back or revive him in future seasons, which is honestly super cool. But we're not going to talk about Power Rangers Versus. Instead, we're going to talk about this mega piece from Hasbro. So stick with us, because we're going to analyze the box and then do an unboxing of the figure. The first thing we need to notice on the box is the name of the piece. It really was a special edition because it says these are the core Rangers, and it's a special edition. The Green Ranger is part of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers. And over here on this side, we have the names of the companies making this figure, which obviously are also partnered with Hasbro. You'll see that. And honestly, the most spectacular part of the box is coming up next, which is where they show the drawing or image of the prehistoric animal that represented each of the core Rangers. And if you remember, the Green Ranger actually started out as one of the bad guys until they managed to turn him around. I'll leave you a little trivia later on. If you remember the names of the villains, I vaguely recall Rita Repulsa. Honestly, you'll start getting some flashbacks, and it's going to be pretty interesting. And on this side of the box, just check out the shape of the lightning bolt here. We have our certificate of authenticity, this hologram that's honestly super epic. And another thing I'm going to do after this mega unboxing is play, because if you remember, there was a game. I think it was for the NES, the Super NES. So that's the Power Rangers 1. Now, with an emulator, I'm going to load it up and play some Power Rangers right here. The first thing I just did was remove the outer box, so I could have this whole mega piece, which honestly is really worth seeing. Why? Because if you notice, it opens in the middle, and when you pull this out, it forms this mega image. Honestly, on this whole side are the Power Rangers pieces, and I don't want to give you any spoilers yet, so I'm going to close it and show you that right here in front is the most famous phrase from the series, which is, "It's morphin' time!" And from there, each one would say the name of the prehistoric beast they represented and start to transform. Later on, there were others who would spin or do other things. Honestly, the Power Rangers have been really popular. My kids, for example, watch the Power Rangers without a doubt. I still haven't managed to get them to watch this generation yet. But besides that, there are plenty of Power Rangers for all ages and all tastes. So if you haven't seen them, check them out. They're really worth it. But for now, let me show you again the poster that forms. And in the meantime, I'm going to take out the pieces that are in here to introduce you to each of the Power Rangers in this Hasbro figure, okay? And now we have the first 3 pieces. Remember, this is the 6-pack of Power Rangers figures, and honestly, I was absolutely blown away. Here we have the Red Power Ranger. the Yellow Power Ranger, and the Black Power Ranger. Honestly, these pieces are just incredible. The first thing to notice is that all the outfits are made of fabric. This part here is laminated, and obviously, the helmet part is also plastic. Everything that comes with the figure is just amazing, from the fact that each one comes with their weapon, the one they shared, which goes here on the belt, as well as their own individual weapon. So let's go ahead and assemble these Power Rangers. Let's start with the Black Power Ranger. There are quite a few racist memes where people joke that in Power Rangers, the Black Ranger was black, the Yellow Ranger was yellow, and the Red Ranger was the main character. So now, let's really talk about the Power Rangers. The figure, check it out, is fully articulated and you can actually put it in different poses, which is definitely a plus for this piece. If you listen closely, you can hear all the articulation, and the foot can be separated, so if you want to remove this part here, check out how this section of the piece is constructed. Honestly, when I took it out, I was like, whoa. But honestly, you can take it apart and put it back together without any problem, and the piece is articulated for what purpose? To create poses just like the Ginyu Force, or like when they would show off with the presentation of each of their animals. Here we can see, starting with the helmet, how it has the whole silhouette of the mammoth. Let's say, the beast it represented. Here we see a morpher that's on the belt. And all of them shared this accessory here so you can attach what they called their blaster. You'd put it here. It was a little gun that shot rays, and each of them had this weapon. Let's remember that later on, each of them had their own animals, now, like actual beasts, and they would form the Megazord. I think I even have a little Megazord Funko somewhere, which honestly is also really impressive. But let's talk about the details of the Power Ranger. All the Power Rangers have similarities in their suits. They all have gloves, let's say, white at the ends, and the rest of the outfit matches the color of each one of them. Here, what they have are these diamonds that are, let's say, laminated, and on the back, this plastic piece ends right here at the sleeve. Everything else, as we can see, is made of fabric, and honestly, it's absolutely impressive. The diamonds appear again here on the wristbands, and honestly, it's super cool. And if we do a close-up, let's take a closer look. They didn't just leave the morpher as an afterthought or just any morpher. It actually has the mammoth here. It has the beads that each one represents when they transform. Then we continue with the whole fabric part of the suit in the same color as the ranger it represents, all the way down to these boots. We already saw that this part can be removed, as well as the foot section. So now, let's talk a little less about the ranger and more about something I really like, which is the weapon it comes with. Check out the mix between the black and yellow colors. But here it also has some marks that look like battle damage, like it's all scratched up. You can see little details as if it had already been in a fight and the blade had taken some hits. This whole front part here is yellow and the rest is black, but another detail is this. Here the mammoth appears again on this side, and on this other side we have the mammoth again plus the handle. The colors are black and yellow all the way down to the base. Honestly, I kind of hit it a bit, but if you want to pose it with a weapon, it comes with interchangeable hands. What for? So you can remove the original hand and swap it for one that can actually hold each of the weapons, from the blaster to the weapon that the Power Ranger himself carried. But I left it over here so I wouldn't lose these little hands, because honestly, I want to do a series of poses for the Power Rangers. And now I'll leave you so you can take a closer look at the Black Power Ranger here on the Darkoburi channel. And now it's time to analyze our second Ranger, which is going to be the Yellow Ranger. Here we obviously have it in the colors of its own uniform. What we didn't look at before was the blaster, which honestly, here at the front, we need to do a close-up so you can see that it says Power Ranger. And here what looks like teeth is actually the handle. And remember, these are the little pistols that attach to the belt of each and every Ranger, which is an amazing detail that they all have. And honestly, I can't wait to get to the Green Power Ranger to see what's different, because he always had up here, so to speak, an extra piece. But let's not get ahead of ourselves. Let's stick with the second one here, which if we remember, was more or less the saber-toothed tiger, the one that appears in the movie that's set in the Ice Age. This character was honestly totally impressive, and he appeared in all the adventures. Let's say he was kinda portrayed as having Asian ancestry, and they literally depicted him. Like the memes say, in the first season, he looked just like that. You know, the yellowish skin tone that Asian people have, and they gave him that. Later on, they started to tone it down and mix them all together, which I actually thought was a really cool way of including everyone, right? They forced these Power Rangers on us and told us it was the new generation, that they changed everything and rebooted it with new heroes. Let's remember that all the others are characters who are in college, they're teenagers, and they have to complete a lot of missions to keep Earth from falling into the hands of different villains. What really fascinates me here is the shape of all their helmets. Here we can actually see the saber-toothed tiger, and the whole figure is formed from the ears, kind of like it is cat ears, with the same eyes, and here it has the saber teeth. Plus, the silver part goes down to the neck, let's say, and the whole suit is yellow with the same diamonds in this area, the same diamonds on the hand, and the entire suit is the same color. Like I said, there's nothing at all on the back, no details whatsoever, just the part where you can see the belt, and then it's the same thing, the accessory that comes here on the ankle guards and the boots. Here it has its belt again, and what we should also look at and observe very carefully is this detail on the belt. It has its morpher, and honestly, it even has the teeth here, its saber-toothed tiger, and everything else, which makes it a pretty articulated piece. You can put it in a lot of different poses. Like I said, you can even move its feet. And on the sole is where the other companies put their marks, which we saw earlier on the main box. For now, let's set the Yellow Ranger aside so we can take a look at one of her weapons. Check this out. The Black Ranger came with an axe, just one axe, but here we have two that are more like daggers, and honestly, the tips are actually a bit pointy, so we need to be careful. I'm showing you this so you can see all the details. Here on the upper part of the blade, it is something like an outline. It doesn't mean it's for battle, but it does have an outline. Here in the center part, it has the tooth or the saber-toothed tiger and all the other details. The handle combines the Yellow Ranger's colors with this now circular black silhouette. Honestly, the weapons are really simple, but when you combine them all, they created a super special power for all the Power Rangers. So here you have the Yellow Power Ranger on the Darkoburi channel. And now, as the third Power Ranger, we have the main character from this very first season of all the Power Rangers. We have the Red Power Ranger, who was the Tyrannosaurus. It's the same here on the helmet part. Check out the teeth right here next to the visor and the Tyrannosaurus eyes, all the way down to the nose. Honestly, all the helmets are super impressive. They're all insanely cool. The mammoth here, the saber-toothed tiger, the Tyrannosaurus once again has its insignia on its morpher on the belt, just like all the others. First, they would take it out from behind, do the whole morphin' time thing, and then each one would transform into their Power Ranger. And again, it's the same, the helmet, each one designed with the animal or beast that represents the suit. In terms of color, basically the only additional thing are the diamonds that contrast with each of the Rangers. And now the diamonds have the color reversed here on the wristbands and the boots. Everything else is done the same way. They all have this element for attaching the weapon, and it's pretty simple, but it's still amazing that all the accessories, the whole set, all the suits are made of fabric. Honestly, they're super impressive, except for this part, as I mentioned, which is made of plastic. Let's go over here to take a look. Check this out. Like I said, the blaster again has the part with the teeth here, but what I didn't tell you is that you can do this. Just open it up and it turns into the pistol. When you store it, you leave it like this, the teeth fit together, and you just pull it up and check out how the pistol is assembled. I didn't want to spoil it until we got here to the Red Ranger. Now you can put his weapon here on this side, and we'll have him. Let's leave him here to stay calm. And we have our Ranger sword, which honestly is super cool. Right here at the base where you hold the sword, check out the outline with all the black parts and the gold design. You can also see, if we bring it a little closer, the battle details, so to speak. And here's a question for you watching at home. What do you think it is? Are those battle marks? Or are they paint errors on the figure? Honestly, I think they did it intentionally because you can see them in certain spots. It's not like they're placed randomly. You can see them on the front and in the same spot on the back. There aren't any other details here on the blade that would be battle marks. It just has these parts here, which are more like decorations on the blade itself. And like I said, it comes with my hands for what? To put each of the Rangers with each of their weapons. But without further ado, I leave you with the Red Power Ranger here on the Darkoburi channel. And there you it. We have 3 Power Rangers, and they look amazing. The Core Ranger collection with Pink Power Ranger, Blue Power Ranger. The Pink Ranger, for many of us, she was our first crush. I feel the same. Leave a heart if she was your crush. Here's our Pink Power Ranger character, and honestly, the suit is still pretty unique, similar to all the other Power Rangers, but the real detail is in the helmet. Check out the pterodactyl, or how the eyes are done here. Honestly, this helmet has the most variety because it has this white part here, and everything else is pink. All the other Rangers' helmets are just one color, except for this Power Ranger. Other than that, it's still the same fabric suit. These figures are really well articulated. Check it out. Like I said, you can swap out the hands, but I didn't want to mix up the hands from each character, so I didn't take them out. But like I said, you can move all the parts, knees, feet, and you can even remove the foot. This part here can also be taken off the figure. On the back, they always have this part that closes and the compartment to store each of their accessories. The blaster, let's check out the difference with the Green Power Ranger in a moment, but for now, let's also pay attention to the morpher with the pterodactyl here on the belt and his unique weapon, which, like I said, I didn't take out. Each of the blasters is honestly pretty similar, as I mentioned with the other Power Rangers. Here it comes with its bow. Just check out how it says Sil Ranger. Actually, over here, over here where it says Sil Ranger, on the back there's nothing. It's only on the front. It has this pink and black outline here. Everything else has this red detailing, and the rest is white. On the back of the bow, it's just white. And what stands out is that the part here where you pull back to shoot the arrow is also pink. Here we can see, very tiny, the pterodactyl, a really small little circle right here, which we'll do a close-up of in a moment. And over here on this side, on the back, it also has it here. The arrow, obviously, is also pink like the Power Ranger, but in the pink area it also has these battle symbols, these little scratches. Honestly, I'd like to try it out, but then again, it probably wouldn't be very appropriate for the action figure. The thing is, if you do it like this, honestly, you could really pull the bow back quite well, but I just don't want to mess up the arrow. So, I'll just have to hold back from shooting the pink Power Ranger's arrow. But let's take a detailed look at the whole piece here on the Darkberry channel. And we're getting closer to the moment, honestly. But before we talk about the Green Power Ranger, let's talk about the Blue Power Ranger, who is the Triceratops. He was one of the most studious, and they always make the brightest person the blue one. And here we can see it on the helmet. The Triceratops has the extra horn, and the other two horns on the sides of this Power Ranger. And honestly, his morpher doesn't disappoint either. It's also really detailed despite the size. We're going to do this pretty quickly as well. You already know it's an articulated figure. The outfit is fabric, and the plastic part is this. Check it out, they all come in the same design. They're still super awesome. But also check out the size comparison, because here the female characters are a little shorter than the male characters. I don't think they're perfectly designed according to each character's height, but they do give us a bit more difference between the female and male characters. And what better weapon for a Triceratops than this kind of trident, which matches its 3 horns. And honestly, the magical part is that you can extend the piece pretty much like it was in the show. Both are in this style, but honestly, this one is a little looser. Yeah, and both have this feature. Another thing it has is the Triceratops symbol on both sides, and like I said, you can see little marks here, like scratches, as if it's been in battle, and it has some small detailing on both sides of the blade. Honestly, these pieces are really impressive, and remember that they could be combined, and by doing this, it really becomes a very, very complete weapon. It's a really cool detail that our friends at Hasbro included. So here you have our blue Power Ranger, the Triceratops, and it's morphin' time on the Darkoburi channel. And the most epic moment, both in the series and here in Dark Boy's unboxing, is talking about the Green Power Ranger. Now we can really talk a lot more about this Ranger because he comes with extra stuff. We knew he had his dragon, the Dragon-So, and that's the Green Power Ranger I'm telling you about. Later, he becomes the White Power Ranger, which brings even more extras. Here, first off, we see the helmet. It has the design and this part here in red. It also has everything that looks like the dinosaur's fangs here, the whole visor area, and it comes with this little golden cape that sits just on the shoulders. And I wondered, can it be removed? But honestly, no. It's really well attached to our Power Ranger. I'm not going to force it, but if you check underneath, it has the same diamond pattern in white. Honestly, they couldn't let those details slip by, and you can see them here in the armpit area, on the chest, and on the back. But what makes our Power Ranger different? First, here at the elbow, it has this small gold ring. If you look, it goes up on this side, and the gloves have a different design now. They no longer have the signature diamond with the color. Instead, they look kind of like fangs or something hanging down, but the gloves are still white. Here we see the design of the Dragon-So, which is basically like a footprint. It's not so much the beast anymore, and it's the one that came both on the original box and also with our Power Rangers here. Here too, he didn't actually come with a blaster, but instead had this little dagger, and honestly, between Sorrento from IR and the Power Ranger, like the memes say, I'd go with the Power Ranger. Because even though he wore a helmet, he could play the flute here, which was included with his dagger, and he could call his Dragon-So without any problem. Other than that, all the details are similar. The fabric of the outfit is very uniform in color, and the style changes again here. If you look at the boots, they only have this green accent, and the rest of the shoe is completely white. Likewise, on the feet, you'll find the markings that now belong to these Hasbro pieces. First, he comes with this mega sword. If you know the name of this sword, leave it in the comments. Also, I'll give a little something, a surprise gift to the first person. This part here is also made of fabric and has these small red sections, these extra accessories, and this sphere part is also really cool. Check out all the designs. Everything here from the golden part down here to this whole curved section. It kind of looks like a scimitar. What do you think? What kind of sword could this be? That's why when I say scimitars, I mean the ones that showed up in Aladdin or the ones with this kind of curve, which are more from the Middle East. But now, the coolest part is the flute. Check it out. It's the one with the design. Here, in the middle part, it represents the Power Ranger and his Dragon Zord. The whole edge goes along here, but let's look at both sides. On this side, it has about 4 holes, and on this other side, it has 1. That's where he played the note, like it was a flute, and here it has 3 more spots. Let's say that's where he blew the air in. Honestly, I don't really know how wind instruments work, but when you press them, obviously you get different tones. And actually, up here at the top was where he would blow, like through the helmet, to summon his Dragon Zord. Now I'm going to let you take a close look, admire the details, the dagger, the guitar, and the Green Power Ranger on the Darkoburi channel. And now we've finished reviewing all the Power Rangers, so it's time for you to tell me in the comments which one you like the most. And you can't just say the Green Ranger, because everyone is going to say the Green Ranger. But honestly, I have a huge surprise for each and every one of you, because if you thought this was the end, you're actually very, very wrong. I'm bringing you the most epic piece in the whole world. I'm talking about the replica of the Green Power Rangers Dagger, right here on the Darkoburi channel. Honestly, your faces of excitement were just like mine when I got it. I'll confess something. I already did the unboxing because I couldn't wait, but I put it back in the box because I wanted to see your reactions when you check out this amazing piece. This one isn't from Hasbro. Let's look over here. This piece is from Bandai. As you know, it's Saban's Mighty Morphin Power Rangers, officially licensed by Saban. So that's how we can bring you these awesome pieces. But like I said, the Green Power Ranger could play the flute through his helmet, and that's how he called his Dragon Zord. It didn't exactly join the Megazord, but honestly, it always left us speechless because those battles were super epic. The series kept evolving. If you haven't seen it, I totally recommend it, especially the movie, which moves the story forward. There are villains like Rita Repulsa and more keep showing up, but now is not the time to talk about them. It's time to unbox the dagger and show you what it can do. Because honestly, this is a piece you can't miss in your collection if you're a Power Rangers fan. And here we have the Green Power Rangers Dagger, which is honestly incredible. If we compare it to the one we have here, check it out, they're exactly the same, just scaled differently. Here, you remove this part on the side to insert the batteries. So remember, it takes batteries and has a lot of different functions, but we'll get to that in a bit. First, let's look at the blade. Check out the size and the gold designs. Like I said, there are 4, let's call them holes, where you can press to play the melodies, and on the back there's just one. The impressive thing is that it has the dragon symbol, the Dragon Zord, and remember, he used it to communicate with his Megazord. This part here is the mouthpiece, and you can really identify it well on this side. Check it out. You can see the opening here, and it has these 3 points where you press to play the different melodies. Another interesting thing here is that on the bottom, it has the off and on button. So let's turn it on so you can hear it. When you insert it, it just makes that noise. If you only press the mouthpiece, nothing happens. But check this out. If you press each of them, it plays battle sounds. Honestly, it's really impressive. If you remember, and you can check out Darkoburi's channel, we also have the replica of ThreeZero Kamado's sword there, which also had a lot of uses and features, and this one is no exception. We're not just going to do this. If you hold down here, we're about to take a trip straight back to our childhood. Let's press it first, and leave in the comments what you think this first sound is, because honestly, the second one is the one that's going to have us all tearing up and remembering our childhood. Check this out. You can just release the button here and press it again, and that's when it stops. If we press it again, the tune starts up again, the rock music from the Power Rangers, and that's when you say, "Go go Power Rangers." And let's release it again, because I want to see what this last button here does. It's the only one we haven't tried. And for those who thought it was the same, who said, "Oh, it's the same, right?" Just check this out, because honestly, it's super impressive. I wanted to bring this to you guys. Like I said, I had already done the unboxing, but after I used it, I put it back in its box to keep it in perfect condition. And this really adds a lot to my Power Rangers collection. When you all told me you wanted a Power Rangers unboxing, I was like, what does an omelet taste like? And you guys answered, eggs, of course. So here you have the entire and complete Power Rangers collection. The classic 6-pack of Power Rangers, each with their distinct colors and powers, plus the legendary Green Ranger's powerful dagger. Now, let's proceed with a thorough and detailed review of each and every individual piece right here on the Darkoburi channel. Remember, we are actively present on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, TikTok, and YouTube. Please make sure to check out and follow all of our various social media platforms to stay fully updated. The primary answer to our question should be left directly on our YouTube channel. Remember, we release a new video every Thursday at 11:30 in the morning, and on Friday, the short version comes out where we skip a lot of the chatter and get straight to the unboxing. Also, remember to check out the website because I'm going to post a new giveaway there. If you're not keeping an eye on the website, you won't see anything. It'll be way down at the bottom, so make sure to look for it. We have exclusive figures for sale, as well as my book, mugs, thermoses, keychains. We have a ton of Darkoburi collectibles and a compilation of all the videos we've made over these 2 amazing years we've shared together here on the channel. So check out everything, leave your comment, your like, turn on the notification bell, and you know, Darkoburi, peace out. And before I go, Happy New Year to all of you. Send me a big shout out once again. Our Barry, peace out.